Over 3,000 startups from Eastern and Central Europe, Africa, the Middle East and Asia and Latin America applied to participate in Seedstars World last year. The winning company goes through to compete with the best companies in the world version of the competition. And to tell us more about the opportunities of the competition and what it offers and how it feels to be the winner of the best startup company in the country is, of course, Mr. Schermer, the regional manager for Seedstars World Africa, and of course the winner of the competition, Khoosal, the founder of ID Work. Gentlemen, a very good morning to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you. Yeah, good morning.
Marcelo, let's start with you. Tell us a bit about this competition. Why such a competition?
So the idea, it started to say, there's talent everywhere in the world. There's people who have great ideas everywhere in the world, but the opportunities for them to realize their dreams and to scale these to big companies are not that distributed. It's hard to find funding, it's hard to find mentors, it's hard to find support. And so we started this off by saying, okay, why don't we go and find all the best ideas, all the best entrepreneurs from all over the world, and then help them get access to funding and mentorship and the opportunities that they may not find where they're from. Mm-hmm. And so we started off about 4 years ago in 20 countries, and we've grown to about 65 countries now, and 20 of them in Africa.
Arjun, you the winner, obviously. Please take us through your journey through the competition and how it feels to be victorious.
Yeah, sure. So our journey through the competition was a bit briefer than everyone else, funnily enough, because being as disorganized as we are, we didn't apply on time, so we were part of the wildcard pool.
Okay.
And luckily, we got the shot. We were chosen as the wildcard entry. So there were 3 startups from each different city.
Okay.
And we were the wildcard entries, so making the 10th startup. And so we really wanted to win it, and we spent a lot of time going over our pitch and just polishing it off, and the magic happened. And I couldn't believe it. I literally couldn't. I was screaming and going crazy on the stage.
We're going to talk more about what your pitch had that the others didn't have. But Marcelo, do tell us then, how does this opportunity aid the startup companies? Go into detail there.
So there's a few things. We help companies with access to funding and access to market. These are the 2 things we believe that are crucial for a company.
How so?
Because a customer is generally your best investor,
yes.
Right? So if you find people who can purchase your product, then that is really all that you need. And then if you want to grow your company from there, then you need investors and you need extra funding. And so we build a global network of investors that invest into these companies. We have a big prize at the end of the big competition in Switzerland that is $500,000. So that's about 8 million rand that the companies can win. And then we work with corporate partners, such as we have Standard Bank here in South Africa and other banks, telcos, and other big corporates that then can work with these companies at helping them get access to customers, which is super important as well.
AJ, tell us more about your pitch. What did it entail?
So we pretty much told the story through some slides of why we do what we do, how we do what we do, and the impact that what we do is having. So yeah, that's pretty much what we did, and I think evidently it went fairly well.
What is it that your startup company actually does? I don't think people get to understand that yet.
Yeah, sure. So what we do is we take informal service providers like plumbers, electricians, carpenters, guys that ride around in bakkies and service homes, and we bring the best out of these informal service providers. So firstly, we allow them to kind of showcase their skills and their track record. And then also we build technology that helps them through the entire process of the job, whether it's sending professional quotes, receiving payments on time. These are all things that we pay attention to and like polish off.
Marcelo, what happens next? Are we going to have another competition? What's going to happen?
Well, so the South Africa competition kicked off the Africa competitions.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is that our team is now going to travel to about 17, 18, 19 other countries on the continent to host similar events. And then in December, we'll have a regional summit. So we bring all the African winners together for a big event where we bring them together with mentors and have a really, really big event. And then in April next year is the global summit. So this is then where the big prize is at stake, where people can really connect with the global network of entrepreneurs that we bring together, because it's going to be about 70 entrepreneurs from 65 countries. So you name a country and probably someone will be there who runs a great business.
And ID Work is obviously going to be part of the continental competition to compete for the world competition, IJ?
Yeah. So we'll be representing, and we'll do our best to give South Africa a good shot.
I mean, let's talk about future opportunities there, Marcelo, that come with winning this type of competition. I know you've already mentioned funding as well as, outsourcing customers for the relevant company.
Yeah. So if you look at the company that won last year, it's a startup called Giraffe. They build a marketplace for low and middle skill workers to find jobs easier. They won last year's competition and actually went to win the global competition. So they won the grand prize earlier this year, which is very exciting to know that a South African company competed against all the companies and won against companies from all over the world. But what happened to them is that from being part of this event, they received a lot of media exposure, a lot of attention. People started becoming way more interested in using the product. You saw their user numbers grow almost exponentially, and they've signed a lot of partnerships with corporates in the country that will now help them recruit people and place people and help them find jobs. So essentially, we say, we want to help people give them a bigger chance at having a bigger impact. And so with things like this, with the relationships that we build and the way we help, we try and help people have a bigger impact with the businesses that they run.
And AJ, in terms of winning the competition in South Africa, how has this aided your startup company?
It's been like 2 days. Yeah. But already, there's been a flurry of PR. Our Twitter feed is catching a light. So our social media managers,
it's busy.
Yeah, it's really busy, which is cool. And it's. I can only begin to imagine the kind of impact it's going to have on our business. It's a great external validation for something we've been working very hard, behind the scenes for, and it's great that it's becoming more evident.
Have you been able to create more employment? That's one of the biggest problems in the country is unemployment, specifically among the youth, so to say.
For sure, and that's exactly the reason why we chose this kind of problem to tackle, and why we built the product that we have is because we can actually get people jobs. So we've connected homeowners to tradesmen about 700 times. A lot of those have turned into jobs. We've done about 2.5 million rand worth of revenue through our platform, and most of these are to small, independent service providers. So it's making a difference. It's transforming people's businesses.
Marcelo, look, in terms of you've given the prizes out. Do you keep a long-term relationship with your startup companies? What happens after?
Absolutely, we have the relationship we have with the startups is very close to the point that we call it the Seedstars family.
Oh, wow.
So you have people, we have a lot of communication channels between the startups. People ask each other for help,
their
for
progress
advice.
As well.
Exactly. Because it's not just about us having a relationship with the startups, but also the companies having relationships between each other. Because, people who start businesses go through the same motions and emotions, no matter if it's in South Africa or China or Peru. So having the opportunity to talk to people who are going through similar things, working on similar problems from all over the world is a great learning opportunity for the startups. And it's great for us to be able to build that platform where people can really, make the world a smaller place and learn from each other wherever they're from.
Absolutely. Let's wrap this up, gentlemen. I want to ask both of you, starting with you, Marcelo, those who want to take part in the near future, will there be another competition? Where can they get more information?
So absolutely. We host the competition yearly. So if you go on seedstarsworld.com, you can subscribe to our newsletter, and then we'll let people know when the next dates come up. And then people can apply. We have an application window. It's pretty straightforward. And we'd be happy to have people join if they think they have a great idea.
AJ, you need to warn people that not all wild cards are actually going to be chosen.
Don't rely on that, guys. There's only one slot.
So what should they do to prepare for this competition in future?
So I think the number one thing to prepare is go out and actually just build a good business, because it sells itself really. The pitch is a small part of the actual things that go into winning, a competition like this. So go and start it, stop planning and start doing.
Marcelo, maybe one last question. Are you looking at specific sectors when you actually try to identify the startup companies, or you go overall aboard?
So in terms of industries, it's very open, but we look for businesses that have the potential to become global companies at some point. So more often than not, it's companies using technology in certain ways. So it can be software, it can be hardware, it can be software used in certain industries. And we've seen things from all over the place, in agriculture, in web platforms. We've seen companies building satellites. We've seen all sorts of things. So we're very open in terms of industry, but there always needs to be some sort of technology angle, because we want to find people who can build a global company eventually.
What about individuals? Does it have to be a company, or individuals can also enter the competition?
They can if they have a company, but then they would have to show how they're going to, because nobody's perfect, right? So if you start a company by yourself, you have some strengths but some weaknesses.
True.
So every good company has always a team of co-founders, like Dave, for example, that balance each other out, and they're, one person has strengths, the other person has weaknesses, and the other person balances it out. So if you want to apply as a single person, that's possible, but you would have to show the path of how are you going to get the skills into your company that you don't have, because that is really crucial to run a company.
All right. Are we going to vote for you? What happens? How are you going to choose the overall winner?
Well, it's going to happen in Switzerland.
Yes.
They're going to pitch again, and then we have a panel of judges that will select the winner at the event.
Are you ready for that, AJ?
Yeah. I mean, we will get more ready as time goes on, but we can't wait.
Definitely. Good luck for that. And you know what? Congratulations for winning the South African League. Definitely, we will be rooting behind you as South Africans. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being in studio with us. That was Mr. Marcelo Schermer, the regional manager for Seedstars World Africa, as well as the winner of the competition, Mr. Arjun Khoosal, the founder of ID.